He's been a little bit of a hypocrite. He talked about silence is often wisdom, and he won't stop talking. Brian Gutekunst isn't saying anything. Nobody's saying anything. Aaron has a weekly grievance session. And I have said, Aaron, you want power. You sought power in the offseason, but there is, when you seek power and get it, there's a responsibility to understand criticism will come with it. So I think he's being a tad bit of a hypocrite. I also think he lectured people on the beautiful mystery. There's wisdom in silence, and he won't stop talking. So yesterday, he walked back some of his criticism. Earlier this week, Nate Burleson, Bill Cowher, Jermichael Finley, I defended all of them. I didn't think any of their opinions were unjust or inflammatory. I thought they were just opinions. I don't have to agree with opinions. There is a gap between inflammatory and an opinion, even if I disagree with it. And so Aaron walked back a little of his criticism to maybe one of the people. Maybe it's Finley. I don't know, but here is Aaron yesterday.
I do want to maybe rephrase or refocus what I said. I strongly believe in everybody's ability to have an opinion, and I respect the fact that they have an opinion and should have an opinion. My issue is a platform given to individuals who only desire to say inflammatory things that are not based in fact.
Okay, do you think you can control that platform? Because what I hear is a guy that is seeking control all offseason and now seeking control of your opinions and your platforms. That's a miserable way to live. Aaron, you cannot control anybody's opinion, nor any of these companies' platforms. In fact, I would argue, Aaron, you cannot control the outcome of Packer games. There's too many variables. Your team doesn't have a pass rush. Your team didn't play good defense. Your coach in the playoff made a decision I still find egregiously weird. So Aaron's moved into this space where he's seeking control of things, and that is impossible as a public figure. Even the mob in America is like, don't mess with the media. Because like any industry, there's some people who are going to be irresponsible, just like some Packer players you draft that are not any good. There's a lot of variables in life. And Aaron here, I think he's too smart to confuse the two, so I just want to separate these. Aaron's confusing criticism, opinion, for inflammatory. If I criticize one of Aaron's buddies in Hollywood's movie, that's an opinion. It's not inflammatory. I'll show you what's inflammatory. Stepping to the podium for 20 minutes and ripping your front office, naming 10 players that they should have re-signed, that you would have re-signed, and criticizing your bosses publicly. If I did that about Fox and my boss, Eric Shanks, he should have re-signed her. He should have fired him. Should have re-signed this producer. That would be inflammatory. And that's exactly what Aaron did. Now, Aaron also, a couple weeks ago, after losing, came out and said, hey, it's one game out of 17. We'll play better. That wasn't inflammatory. That's an opinion. But don't confuse inflammatory with opinion. You are a reigning MVP. I mean, I look at it like the media. I choose who I don't try to control the media. But if I find people irresponsible or inflammatory, I'm not interested. I see a lot of that on Twitter. I have probably 4 to 5 people in politics that I follow, I lean on in crisis. One's a writer for The Atlantic. One is a writer for the Wall Street Journal. One is a writer for the New York Times. I have one or two of them are television people, and that's who I follow. But what I don't try to do is control them. I pick who I respect and like, and then I follow them. And my harshest criticism of Aaron, because I don't think any of this is directed at me, but I did say when a week before the season, he came out and said, I'm 50-50 on retirement. I said, that's bad judgment. Don't do that. Don't tell anybody. Your young teammates may take it wrong. Your coaching staff may take it wrong. You may have scouts in the organization that are like, we don't think Jordan Love can play. I'm not going to stick around here in Green Bay if Aaron's gone in a year. Get me out of here. I don't think you should ever publicly say, yeah, think about retirement. I didn't like that. But again, let me clarify. That's an opinion. That is not inflammatory. How do I know? Because about half the people in the media that I follow agreed with it. It wasn't a good thing to say. By the way, just because the meat's there, you don't always have to bite into it. Alex Guerrero ripped Bill Belichick. Ripped him yesterday. And what did Brady do? He didn't take the bait. Remember, here's what he said about Belichick in his New England years.
Everyone has, protective feelings and emotions as friends and family members, and that's just part of being in sports. And you have a lot of people who, because they're not out there, they want to protect, and it's a very caring, loving thing that a lot of people do. But, from my standpoint, I had a great time. But really my focus has been on trying to be the best I could be for this team and trying to go out and be a winning quarterback, be a championship level quarterback for this team and this organization, because they certainly deserve it. And, I made a commitment to them and I want to live up to it.
Why did I run that bite? Because that was an inflammatory situation. Alex Guerrero on Belichick, that's inflammatory. It's an opinion, but it's inflammatory. And how did Brady handle it? I'm grateful he backed off. He didn't want it to be inflammatory. So Brady clearly can tell the difference between that's inflammatory, I'm going to have a grateful opinion. And I think Aaron knows all this stuff. But when you're in this space where you're trying to control platforms and people and opinions, it's a miserable way to live. I sit and watch Twitter, and like conservatives are trying to make liberals more conservative, and liberals are trying to make conservative more liberal. And it's like, just find the people you like, consume their content, and stop trying to change and alter people's opinion so it's yours. Control is a miserable life. Nobody really has any control over any of this stuff. Joy with the news.
No.